Okay, hey everybody. Hope you're doing good again today. I'm going to um, respond to the video I made earlier. Um, I I got a comment that I found actually at first it was annoying, but it was actually something interesting to talk about. Anyway, it was from something I think Mr. Watchman or something. And anyway, he said something like, what don't you understand about, God saying it'll be as the days of Noah when he comes back? And, I'm like, why don't you just say, hey, stupid dummy, why don't you get it? He's coming back connected to the days of Noah. I'm like, let me tell you guys something, all right? I've been doing this for a while, like several years. Do you know how many times people come up with an idea when the Lord's coming back, and they'll tell you that it's for sure, and then nothing happens. And some people have a million reasons why he's coming back on a certain day. And they could be a million really, really good reasons, from intense study, amazing insight, prayer, dreams, just amazing stuff. Everything's lining up to the Bible. It's just incredible. And nothing happens. So when people say to me, look, dummy, don't you realize this? I'm like, I feel like saying, well, look, dummy, don't you realize, you're not the first to come up with some amazing idea of when he's coming back? Jesus Christ, if you just tuned in. um, it's like, okay, so I'm not mad, I don't, I'm not offended. I'm just like, I can't believe people get really arrogant when they have ideas about, they're like, and then I got other comments like, he's coming back October 24th because this, that. And, and I've asked two different people, okay, well, why do you keep saying the equinox is on October 20th? Okay, maybe I'm clueless about it, but if you look it up, the equinox was on September 20th. That doesn't change just because the calendars change. Okay, we go from Torah to the Israel calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Some are looking at Enoch calendar. Some are looking at the Creator's calendar, the calendar where the new month starts at the full moon. The Torah, we got it starting at the new moon, which I believe is accurate. And everyone has a million reasons why they're right. That's why I look at different things and I don't say that it's for sure, because I realize that um that this happens. And let me make sure this thing's okay. Um so I'm not gonna be so adamant about it, about, oh, it has to happen. No, he said you won't know the day and hour because you won't know it for sure. Not because he doesn't want you to watch. He does want you to watch. And he says, if you don't watch, you won't know what hour he's coming. It'll come on you unexpectedly. So he's not saying you can't figure it out or you can't find out. He's not even saying, I won't tell you in a dream. Somebody, he can do whatever he wants. God can do it. If he wants to tell you in a dream when he's coming back, he can. And some people have said he told me in a dream he's coming back, and he did not. So, we're dealing with, the good news is that we're dealing with the generation that will see the return of Christ, which is when Israel's 80 years old, which is in 2028. And like I said, subtract 7 years of tribulation, you got this year we're in right now, 221. Now, so anyway, but on the note where I agree with what he said, I don't like his attitude, but I agree with what he said, is that um, uh, you know one of the biggest clues from Jesus is when he said it'll be as the days of Noah. So I believe that there will be some major clues lining up with Noah. I mean, to me, I know I said we're looking at the Day of Atonement tomorrow, um, but I personally think it probably will be more lined up to the days of Noah because of that. Now, and I do think that Christ is returning on the Day of Atonement, in 7 years. Um, but it should tell us how close we're like within the 7 years. Okay. And like I said, um, you could subtract 7 years a different way, which I didn't. I meant to do it earlier today, but I didn't yet. But I know there's a lot of videos out there that are gonna have that date. I think it's in November. Also, so I want to tell you something about this Days of Noah. Also, the summer ends in Israel in October 31st, and I never wanted to mention it back during the summer because I thought no one wants to hear that now. We are in the summer, and surely he's coming before September when the leaves turn, right? But summer does end in the end of October. So for a summer harvest, we're still doing good for a summer harvest. And we're in the year 7 years before the end, you know? And by the way, someone else commented tonight about she was looking at someone's video. I don't remember who it was, and I didn't know that person, who was saying that generation is not 70 to 80 years, and she was all worried and freaked out about it. Well, you know what? When Jesus said that, they lived to be 70 to 80 then. Okay, now most of them died earlier because of, you know, because of the situations, that were going on then. People got sick earlier, just, but you could live to be 70 or 80 and maybe 90, kind of like today. So, of course it's 70 to 80. So don't worry, sister, because why? God's not trying to fool us and trick us. He's trying to show us because he wants us to expect him. Okay? It's not going to be, you know, 120 years. I mean, that's crazy. Or 900 years. Okay, like Methuselah. I mean, it only makes sense that it's what it is right now, especially when we see the mark of the beast system, the beast system starting to do all their stuff with their computer technology, and the fact that they can now have a full tracking system in your blood. Okay, that mark of the beast is implemented during the 7 year tribulation. Okay, the stuff going on now is not the mark yet, but it obviously has. And by the way, just because it has horrible things in it that will kill you, that can alter things in your body and destroy your immune system and destroy your nervous system and your circulation and your heart, and is killing thousands of people as we speak, just because it's terrible and evil, which it is, and that's why I say stay away from it, it doesn't mean just because it's horrific that it's the mark of the beast. But it is definitely a precursor, and they could easily, when that time comes, say, okay, now we got something to put in your right hand. A mark is going to be in the right hand or forehead. A shot is not a mark. People are trying to say, oh, it's the right hand is in Hebrew, it means the right arm is the right hand. Even if it did, it's not a mark. It's a shot. Okay, it's not a mark. It's not a signature on your arm. And not only that, but it's not, the full banking system isn't in it yet. You can't buy or sell sometimes because they won't let you in the store. But that's not because the banking system is in a chip in your hand. Okay, so you're not scanning stuff at the store yet to buy it with your arm. I mean, they've got you with your little smartphone trying to get you used to it. And I notice it's kind of set on the right side for people. But um, there's too many videos out there terrifying people that it's the mark of the beast. I want to get back to Noah, but I've got to say this. Um, it has to do, the mark of the beast has to do with worshiping the beast, worshiping the Antichrist, who's not here yet. He's not even here yet, okay? I mean, he might be here. I mean, obviously he's alive and well because he's going to be on the scene shortly, but he's given, there's the 7 year Daniel's week, and there's a definite 3.5 years where the Antichrist is given authority over all the people on the earth to either worship him or be killed. And he has full authority to do that at that time. It's given to him by God. 3.5 years, 42 months, 1,260 days. Revelation 13, 14. All right, so back to Noah here. Okay, so okay, the flood started on the 17th day of the second month, right? In Genesis 7:11. Now, I'm going to be looking at the Torah calendar right now. Okay, I realize we've talked about all the calendar conflicts going on. I understand that, but there are reasons to be looking at the Torah calendar. And this is my point, is that people who say, here's all these reasons to only look at the other calendar where we're a month off. I have total respect for these ideas, and they could be true, but I don't agree with saying that this is it. There's no other way. God is using this. He will not consider anything else, because you don't know that for sure. That's why I don't, I'm not like completely set on one thing, or one thing that somebody on YouTube says, or whatever. I am going to consider what I feel led to look at, and whether it's through the Spirit, through praying, or perhaps something's caught my interest. My mind is putting ideas together. It could be my mind or my spirit. Okay. But it's not a thus says the Lord on you can only look at this calendar or that. That's why he said you don't know the day and hour. He's trying to say, stay humble as you're searching for when I'm coming. He's stay humble because I haven't told you, because I want you to search out the matter, which is the honor of kings and the glory of God to conceal a matter. All right, so honor of kings to search it out. So that was from the Psalms. So what we're dealing with is, this is what's interesting. Okay, the flood started on the 17th day of the second month, and what this guy said to me, he was saying about, what don't you understand about that? It's like, wow, okay, I guess you're right and I'm wrong. But like I said, love takes no offense. Praise the Lord. I don't care. It's all right. But I can laugh at it. But and you guys, we don't need to be rude. We don't need to be rude. We're not supposed to be rude. We don't have to talk down to people. So with that said, he was saying, two amazing things happened on 3 days from the full moon in the Bible. Well, I know that. Okay, one of them was the resurrection of Jesus Christ on Nisan 17, and the other was the flood started on the 17th day of the second month. That's always going to be 3 days after the full moon, because the Hebrew month starts at the sliver, the new moon, the sliver. Okay, and the 15th is always the full moon. So the 17th is a very powerful, it's a very powerful day where, yeah, I agree. I think the rapture definitely could be 3 days from the full moon, you know? But to say that you know for sure, and if it's like a little, in my opinion, it's arrogant to know for sure. Okay, other things have happened in the Bible at other times, um, but nonetheless, I agree that it's a really good, very probable day. But I want to show you something that you may not have thought of, which is in Genesis 8. It talks about um, I'll start at 1. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock that were with him in the ark. Isn't that beautiful? I love that God loves the animals so much because I adore animals. They're so precious. And yes, we will see our pets in heaven. And he sent a wind over the earth, and waters receded. Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky, and the water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of 150 days, the water had gone down. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on mountains of Ararat. Well, Ararat's interesting. That means reverse the curse. That's interesting. That, my friend, is 717. How many people did videos on Jesus coming on 717? July, at the time, it was July 17th on the Gregorian calendar. Or, yeah, could it be on the Torah calendar, of course, or Israel calendar, yeah. Something amazing happened on the 17th day of the 7th month. The ark came to rest on reverse the curse. That was reverse the curse right there when the ark rested, okay? Now, the 17th day of the first month, when Jesus Christ rose from the dead, what did he do? He reversed the curse. Same thing, 17. Okay, God came to earth to reverse the curse. As man was born in sin after Adam and Eve fell. Born in sin. The only way out is through the redeeming, redemption, atoning blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, by receiving him as your Savior, for making atonement for your blood and believing in him. Who is he? He's the Son of God, repenting from your old ways, your old thinking, and seeing the truth. Seeing, believing, and receiving the truth. The truth. Now, that was my my salvation altar call there. If you're listening and you're not saved yet. So then, okay, after that, the waters continued to recede until the 10th month. On the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. After 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark. He sent out a raven. It kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Okay, now I'm going to skip a little bit, but he sent out a dove. He waited for 7 days, sent out another dove. The dove would come back. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew the water had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days. So ultimately, after he sent out 3 doves, I think it was 3. But the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth. Noah removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. And here we are. By the 27th day of the second month, the earth was completely dry. And God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark." and your wife and your sons and your wives and their wives come out of the ark. When? 27th day of the second month, a year later. The 27th day is not a full moon or a new moon. Okay? The 27th day is 10 days after the 17th. Okay? Now, let's see what that would be on the Torah calendar. The 17th day, the 27th day. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, I wanted to just make sure of something here. The 27th day of the second month is, you probably won't be able to see it. Sorry, it's not going to work out too well. It's November 3rd. November 3rd is that is when God said, "Get out of the ark." So, to me, that sounds a little bit more like the rapture than when the flood started. Okay? Or even when they rested on the Mount of Ararat. But do we know for sure if we were going to pick one of these three? We don't know for sure. You can think you know for sure and say you know for sure, but it doesn't mean that you do know for sure. The only time we'll ever know for sure is after the rapture. Then we'll find out when it happened. So, with that being said, the 17th, November 3rd, okay, is after the end of summer, which is October 31st. So, hey, he could be 4 days late, like Lazarus, right? 4 days late. You know, and then of course you have other calendars, right? So, but nonetheless, I think this is all interesting, that it's all right at the time of this year that we're in, right before the 7-year tribulation has to start. You tell me, how could it not be any day now? It absolutely could be. Let me see one more thing. Yeah, see, the new moon is November 6th. So November 3rd, like I said, it's not a new moon and it's not a full moon. It's neither. And yet that's when God said, "Get out of the ark." So you tell me, when's he coming? I don't know. We'll soon find out. I think we're going to soon find out. And everything else he showed us, so many things are lining up to prophetic fulfillment as we speak. It's absolutely mind-blowing when we see the beast system taking stage as it is right now. So anyway, I am going to, I'll leave you with that for now. So I wanted to explain all that to you, and we are so close. We have to be. These are concrete things God said in the Bible about the generation of Israel, the 70th week of Daniel. 2028 minus 7 is 2021. 21-0 America. That was my dream 7 years ago. When the rapture happened, listen, this country's almost already completely destroyed with what they've done. All the headlines now are food shortage, Volcanoes are coming. Earthquakes are. I mean, listen, the Canary volcano in La Palma is off the chart. It's going crazy. It's gotten worse and worse every single day. They just had a 4.5 earthquake. They had another, the cone broke again the other day. Then huge rivers of lava started flowing down. Towns are being drowned by lava now and evacuating more and more hundreds, thousands of people. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, and which actually reminds me of the Madagascar word I gave you. Um, meaning the Lord gave me, but I mentioned it in my last video. And thank you for your comments on what some of you have gotten from it. What struck me is one of you said that Mike from around the world had been talking about Madagascar a couple weeks ago and how it actually has been erupting, volcanic eruptions. And I think it was past 4 years, but he's saying keep your eyes on that place. I think that I think we know if you've been watching the earthquakes around the whole earth right now. Kilauea is kicking up. Um, Places I haven't heard of. I mean, there's just constantly more and more activity with with these eruptions and Yellowstone. Um, and of course, the earthquakes around the world are off the chart. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I think that I believe from what I have seen in people's dreams and visions, and um, that the rapture will be probably, I believe, it will be accompanied by some type of volcanic eruption and a tsunami. I think it will be. Going back a few years to brothers and sisters' dreams, and um, I think. Now, I'm not saying that says the Lord, but I think that probably the Canary, and I think that it will be connected to Kilauea, that there will be a tsunami caused by one or both of them, and it could be extremely extremely soon, and it could easily be that which triggers the rapture, which could be before, by the time the summer is over, the end of this month, the summer harvest. Um, That's 2 weeks from now. From 2 weeks from now, the summer harvest time will be over. So I think this is what is going to happen, along with other things. And there's a few people who actually heard a word about Canary 3 or 4 years ago. Canary. In fact, there's one video. A brother had a dream about a volcano causing a tsunami, and it went into the. He saw the East Coast flooded in his dream, and that video has been circulating. Maybe a lot of you have probably seen it. Another brother heard Canary. Um, what was it? Something Canary. Canary in the coal mine. He just heard that, I think, in a dream, and a few years ago, and that expression means, um, warning, danger. Trying to think if there's something else I was gonna mention. Hold on a minute here. I was gonna tell you today. I felt so different today. I don't know what it was, but hubby and I went out we just went, downtown a little bit. Had to run a couple errands, and we did go to Starbucks again. And I felt so different today, especially. I'm, okay, listen, in California, everyone's still wearing the mask and everything. And none of this evil agenda has subsided or anything. But I have been feeling, and it really was strong today, totally different in the past few days. I literally feel like something has lifted, and I mean to the point where it's almost as if everything is fine, nothing ever happened, nothing's going on, no one's really wearing a mask, uh, they're not after you. I mean, it's almost as if nothing, like everything's fine. And God showed me that it's because He's allowing me to prophetically pick up on something amazing. This is prophetically, I want to speak to you about what this means. Because this hasn't happened since this freaking pandemic BS started almost 2 years ago. Okay. A year and a half, but even more than a year and a half at this point. So this has not happened until now. Um, Prophetically speaking, He is showing me that the reason I'm feeling like really light hearted and happy, like everything's okay, like nothing, everything was innocent. I mean, I felt connected to walking down the street, and I didn't feel weird and attacked by everyone on the street and all the weird stuff that's been going on for almost 2 years. It was almost, I felt better than before it even started. And it was like, why? What am I feeling here? And the Lord said, it's you are picking up on heaven, the reality that you are about to be in. I am picking up on it now before it happens, because there's no other reason I could feel like this. It doesn't make any sense. It's totally supernatural. Prophetically, He said, tell my people I am at the door to be ready. It is about to get beautiful. Even the room I'm in back here, this is the back of our building. This room has been totally shut down for a year and a half. And I honestly don't even know if why it's been left open. But I haven't been able to be here in a year and a half. And I feel like that is symbolic too. I can't explain why, but there's something about this room. And God has made a way to even sit here and do this video. It's like I can't explain it. It's like all the chains have already broken, and I'm not even there yet. And yet I'm feeling it. It's absolutely amazing. And so, prophetically speaking, we really are leaving. And the reality you're going to feel the minute this harpazo gathering together, being caught up in the air, takes place, and you are going to be so happy. Every chain is going to break, and you won't even ever remember how terrible you ever felt on this earth. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't even understand. I don't think I've ever felt this light in my entire life. ever. Nothing happened. It has to be God. It's prophetic. So I wanted to give you that. Just awesome. So God bless you all. I'm glad I could say all this back here. Right when I needed to say all this stuff, the door opened. So God bless you guys. Get ready to see your king. Get ready to meet your king. And get saved if you're not. Because we're talking any any single minute now, any day, any second, any hour, we could be gone in the blink of an eye. So, with that, love you guys, and I will see you soon, one way or another.